Heavens high, I'm Derek, and I'm a grateful member of the Faithful Remnant Church. I'm grateful because the Faithful Remnant Church is the last true church established by the Most High True God Himself, and we are led by His two witnesses. They are Pope Peter the Last and Mary Romanes. Please go to the website testimonyofthetwowitnesses.com and read the words of your Creator. The Most High True God knows you more than you do. Now He is the one who created the universe, and He created us all. You do not know the total number of hair on your head, but the Most High True God has numbered the hair on your head. You know, people could easily recognize people by the way they walk, the way they speak. But you know, the Most High True God could recognize you with the way you think and the desires of your heart. You are unique among all those created by the Most High True God, and the Most High True God has plans for your life. So the Most High True God knew you before He created you. He knew that you will come across the testimony of the Most High True God found at His website testimonyofthetwowitnesses.com, and you will not reject it. That is why He has now brought you to His testimony. The Lord knew that He will make you a prophet, and you are going to accept that mandate to proclaim His good news to the nations. That is why He said in Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5, this is what the Lord said: before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I consecrated you. I appointed you a prophet to the nations. The words of the Most High True God. So the Lord knew you, and He appointed you as a prophet to the nations. So whenever you begin to wonder and to think yourself as unworthy of the call, and whenever temptation comes on your way that you think that you don't deserve to be in the ark of the Most High True God, you need to reject the spirit of blasphemy and know that you are one of the persons that the Most High True God has deemed worthy in these end times, and you are the right person that the Most High True God has called among His flock. He is the one who will help you through the valley of the shadow of death. You know, many people came to the testimony. The Most High True God revealed the narrow path to them. And when they got to know that the narrow path passes through the valley of the shadow of death, many people rejected the narrow way and turned back to the world. But the Most High True God knew that when He called you, you are going to persevere and walk through the valley of the shadow of death. And the Most High True God knows that you will make it. That is why you are still here. That is why you are still in contact with the two witnesses of the Most High True God. That is why you have not been left out among His remnant. So the Lord will still recognize you as His children, as His child, if you persevere on the narrow path. So never give up, because the Lord has never given up on you. And He knows that you make it to the fullness of the era of peace if you persevere. Hold on to the testimony, because it is through the testimony that the love of the Most High True God flows to you. So it is true that the narrow path is sometimes slippery, and someone may slip and fall, but you need not stay down. Quickly get up before the Commander-in-Chief attention comes on you. So here are some tips that will help you to walk through the valley of the shadow of death. On 25th of September 2016, this is what Pope Peter the Last said: truly, the spiritual life is a day-by-day endeavor, and the temptations of the day are never too much for you to be able to overcome by turning to your true spiritual strength, who is Jesus Christ the Lord. Do not think about the future. This takes self-discipline. Do not think about the past. This takes self-discipline and self-control. Whenever you find your mind or your interior life wandering in the past, reject the spirit of nostalgia and ask for the grace to live only in the true Holy Spirit of the moment, and the grace will be there. Ask the Most High True God to send prevalent graces ahead of all future attacks and temptations. This is how you take an active role in being a true disciple of the Most High True God. Understand? Do your part to make it through the valley of the shadow of death that you are living in, and that is the world. And the Most High True God will do His part to help you overcome all the distractions and the delusions that everyone around you is embracing. The words of Peter the Last. So truly we are walking through the valley of the shadow of death, but the Most High True God knew you. That is why He has called you to walk on this path, and He knew that you could persevere and reach the fullness of the era of peace. So persevere and don't give up. Do what the Lord is asking of you. Go to the website testimonyofthetwowitnesses.com. If you are not a member of the Faithful Remnant Church, read all the instructions and contact the two witnesses and join the Faithful Remnant flock. The Faithful Remnant to be, persevere and do what the Lord is asking of you. Keep on repenting, and the Lord will recognize whatever you are doing, so that you will be joined among the Faithful Remnant flock. May the Most High True God bless His Faithful Remnant flock with the needed graces to persevere on the now path that leads to the kingdom of heaven. Amen.